Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We are welcoming Jim Colopy. He's from the Stark County Community Action Agency. Good morning.
Good morning, Susie. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for being here, Jim. First of all, some of us are a little new, and maybe even if we know about the agency, we're not quite sure of everything, the full scope of everything that you do. So can you fill us in a little bit, educate us?
Sure, happy to. The Stark County Community Action Agency is an agency that strives to provide low-income individuals and families with opportunity to raise them up out of poverty, put themselves on a self-sufficient path. So we offer multiple programs to kind of attack the issue of poverty from all angles.
I think one thing that is very tough for us to get our heads wrapped around is how difficult it is to turn that spiral around. Once you're in a downward spiral, man, to put the brakes on and have it start going the
Absolutely.
other direction. Can you talk a little bit about how that's possible and some of the things that the agency does to do that?
Sure, and you're absolutely right. When you get into that spiral, it's very tough to get out of it, and as a whole, society does not necessarily give you a lot of opportunities or a lot of handouts to get there. One of the big programs that we offer is the Head Start program, which is an early childhood kindergarten prep education program. And that's offered in multiple locations all over Stark County by our agency. And it gives children before kindergarten a step in the right direction to get them ready to start school off on a level playing field with everyone else.
Even that, how do people get their children there? When transportation can be an issue.
Sure. They do offer transportation. We do have busing available. So it does depend on where you live and what locations have that availability. But for most people, there is transportation available. They operate Monday through Thursday, the transportation, and then Friday is a drop-off day.
Well, let's talk for a moment about Head Start. What does the day look like? What do the children, these preschoolers, get to do that day?
I have gotten to. I don't work directly with Head Start, but I have actually gotten to witness some of it, and they've got a great group of caring teachers that come in there every day, and that really is their motivation for coming there, is these young kids. And it really brightens my day. Sometimes I'll go over there and just observe and watch the teachers reading to the groups of kids or whatever, because when you're having one of those rough days, little kids can tend to bring you out of that real quick.
That's for sure. You've said that there is an income eligibility for it. So how does a person know if they qualify for Head Start?
Each program that we run would have a separate individual income requirement. Typically, they're about 200% of the poverty level. If the residents were interested in checking that out, they're happy to call the agency, find out what programs they're eligible for.
Okay.
I run the weatherization program, which I'll talk about a little bit.
We're gonna get to that.
And we have eligibility requirements that are 200% of the poverty level. So just to give you an idea, a family of two, that level is $32,480 combined income. For a family of four, it is $49,200. So if you've got a family where you have a single income earner and a mom at home with two kids, that we have a lot of residents in Stark County that qualify under those guidelines.
Oh, yes. I had a friend who, while her husband was in med school, she found out her kids qualified, so she sent them to Head Start and was happy to do it.
Absolutely. And the other thing we run into is we go on a 12-month period. So we look at your income for the last 12 months. We have some families where the main income earner has been laid off for 6 months. And whereas they wouldn't have previously qualified for any of our programs, now they've been laid off for 6 months, and their annual income has dropped them to where they can take advantage of some of the things we can offer.
Because there's great help available.
There is.
All right, what else? Because we know you're taking care of the little ones very well.
Sure. The other thing we do is we run a home energy assistance program, or the HEAP program. And that program specifically provides financial assistance for those residents that find themselves unable to pay their gas, electric, utility bills. And typically we run into that during the winter. They call it the winter crisis time, when people are really having a hard time keeping oil in their furnace or getting their natural gas turned on because they owe too much to get it turned back on. The HEAP program can help them out with that.
Now, is this done with the gas company? Because I know on our bill there's a place that you can check to say that I'd like to add a little bit additional here and have that go towards paying someone's bill that wouldn't be able to. Is that something that you've coordinated with them? Is that something they're doing on their own?
So the HEAP program specifically is federally funded. So that comes from the government. That's a grant from the government. However, the HEAP program and my program, the weatherization program, we do work in conjunction with utility programs. So what we do is we get utility money from those Dominion, for example, Dominion Energy, American Electric Power, First Energy, Columbia Gas. We can leverage those dollars to help assist more people.
So sometimes even someone just on a fixed income, you've reached a certain time in your life where
Absolutely.
You know exactly what you have coming in, and when what is going out keeps increasing, that can be a stress.
Absolutely.
So check?
Yes, absolutely. I would say the majority of the people that we assist are elderly and on a fixed income, maybe retired or disabled and on disability or not able to work full time. So absolutely, if you think that you might meet one of these income requirements or if you find yourself in need, absolutely reach out to us, and I'm happy to provide all that information.
Fortunately, while we're recording this, we've got a little bit of a reprieve in the weather.
It's been except with the weather brings the flooding. So
that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
aren't you just a bundle of good news? But that is true. But what does it mean to have this kind of security when? I mean, we've seen some pretty rough storms even yet this year.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, we get a little break every once in a while with a mild winter, and then we get one like we had a lot of really cold temperatures. And what we found was we had people unable to heat their homes. With that comes freezing water lines, bursting pipes, and one thing leads to another. It's a stack of dominoes that falls very quickly.
Yeah, that's pretty rough, and that can be expensive to fix. We've
Very.
all been there. So again, about 200% of the poverty line, or should someone just check and see?
Usually 200% of the poverty line is a good goal, but absolutely, if you have any questions, you should check and see.
You've also got a workforce development program for adults to retrain and get back on their feet. Talk about that a little bit.
We do. The Stark County Community Action Agency has run for many years and is starting a new program, a lot of exciting new programs this year. Unfortunately, Teresa couldn't be here with me today, but the idea is to provide job training, and it's not just job training, but actual trade skill training.
Wow.
So one of the new exciting programs they have is a welding program and a plastic pipe joiner program. So in this area, they've been doing a lot of lines on gas pipes, or a lot of work on gas pipes. And if you see them on the side of the road, they're usually these long plastic, yellow or blue pipes. And every once in a while, you'll see those guys joining those together. And that's actually what this program trains these individuals to do, and sets them up to be hired immediately upon completion.
Oh my goodness! How long of a program is it?
Typically they run 10 to 15 weeks, but everyone's going to be different. So you'd really I don't want to speak to the specifics of it because each program is going to be different as to its length.
But in a matter of months, a person's life could turn around drastically.
Absolutely.
And to be trained, and the fact that they help you get employed.
Absolutely. And that's really the goal, is to get these people in a position where they're ready to enter the workforce and provide for themselves and their family in a meaningful way.
Oh, that means so much, just on so many levels. You know what I find so exciting, Jim, is when you think of the amount of construction that's going to be taking place here with Hall of Fame Village and some of the building up of the area, there's going to be a huge need for these particular skills, isn't there?
There is. And the one thing, when you talk to employers all over this area, is that they're desperately looking for qualified people that they can put directly into the workforce. They have a very hard time getting people that can pass background checks, that can pass drug screening, and that will show up, every day on time and do what they need them to do. And if we can provide that to them, provide them a pool of people that have already been screened, already proven themselves to be, wanting of that opportunity, they are happy to take them on.
Oh my goodness. So for the person whose life is about to change in a big, big way, what's the first step? How do they
First
get
step
involved?
is to reach out to our agency. The phone number for our agency is 330-454-1676. That number, it'll give you a menu, and you can pick from all of our programs as to who you want to be directed to. And that's really the first step. You've got to reach out to us and see what might be available for you if that's something that you want.
Is there an age requirement for it? I didn't hear that. I heard pass a background check and drug screening.
You know what? I'd have to check. I think it's specific on program.
Okay.
So I don't know for sure that there's an age requirement. I think because of the physicality of some of them, there may be. But I know that other programs may be more open to multiple age groups.
And you've worked this together with Stark State?
Yes. Yeah, some of the new programs coming out with these technical trades are done in conjunction with Stark State.
Do you know of any just life-changing stories that have happened from this? Have you heard?
Not from this one particular, although I will say, I've heard secondhand that we've had some really good success with some of these new programs they've got. With my program particularly, which we'll talk about, I can tell you all sorts of life-changing stories. So,
and we are going to get to that. Well, we are speaking with Jim Colopy from the Stark Community Action Agency. How long have you been around? This sounds like a pretty extensive group of help.
Absolutely. We've been around for many years. Community action agencies as a whole have been around since the 70s. It was a nationwide movement to provide opportunity in the community and bring people up out of poverty. We've been running Head Start here in Stark County for at least the 8 years that I've known of. The weatherization program that I participate in or that I run for Stark County, we've been around since the 1970s in one form or another, providing energy efficiency services. So these programs have been around for a long time. They've reached a lot of people, and they're very popular because they provide a very good service to the community.
Even if someone listening right now does not have need for these, you may know of someone.
Absolutely.
Or perhaps they even do volunteer work, and then their paths cross with people who definitely need this. So remind us of a website, and let's give that phone number again.
Sure. The phone number is 330-454-1676. You can get the website at www.sccaa.org, and that stands for Stark County Community Action Agency. So it's www.sccaa.org.
An S, two C's, two A's, .org. Okay. We are going to be back with Jim Colopy from the Stark County Community Action Agency right after these words. You're listening to Our Community.